This story is strange. It just doesn't seem to make sense. You've provided us a birth certificate of Rachel's. You've given us family photos of Rachel. Why is your daughter then pretending to be black?
We can't answer that question for her. She has not explained to us why she is doing what she's doing and being dishonest and deceptive with her identity.
This is your daughter, though. Why do you think she's pretending?
Well, basically, bottom line, we're just saying that we're confirming the truth. We are her birth parents, and we do not understand why she feels it's necessary to misrepresent her ethnicity.
Now, this has clearly been going on for a while. When did it start?
It started kind of gradually, maybe around 2007 or so, but we first heard about her claims to be African American from a newspaper article from the Spokane, Washington area, and that was the first we knew she was doing it. She has never claimed to be biracial or African American in our presence.
She's risen to be a leader, as we see. I mean, she's the president of the local chapter of the NAACP. She's risen to be a leader in the African American community in Spokane. Why, you say the first time you heard about her misrepresenting herself was from a newspaper, when a newspaper article came out. Is that why you haven't spoken out before?
Well, this newspaper article that I'm referring to was some years ago, but Rachel has not wanted to have contact with us. And so we haven't communicated with her about this.
We've only recently been contacted as her birth parents to verify that she is our daughter. We've never been brought into the picture. We've never been asked these questions until now.
I mean, this seems to be quite a mess. Do you wish you would have spoken out sooner?
Well, a lot of people knew that Rachel was white. And for a while, it seemed like she was just doing more of a artistic, expressive representation of her, identifying with African Americans by doing her hair and extensions and things like that. But when it started to be claims that she was African American, then as family, we didn't take the initiative to report her doing that, but there were many other people from her hometown and from the area that knew that she was not African American, and no one of them spoke up either.
They were just puzzled.
I think a lot of folks are puzzled, this TV anchor included. When it comes to the family, you said that you haven't talked to her in a while. There's clearly some complicated family dynamics at play here, and that you haven't talked to her in a long time. Why is that?
That's at her request. That's because Rachel has chosen to distance herself from the family and be hostile toward us. She doesn't want us where she is. She doesn't want to be seen with us because that ruins her image.
So what's your reaction, Lawrence, when it first came to your attention that that she says she was African American? What was your reaction?
Well, we were just puzzled and didn't understand why she felt it was necessary to misstate her ethnicity.
Now, you haven't spoken to her on her request. What would you like to say to her now?
We would tell her that we love her, we care about her. Just be honest. Tell the truth.
Ruth Ann, do you think she should remain the head of the NAACP there?
That certainly is not my decision. I pray that there will be sound judgment on that decision.
What do you think, Lawrence?
Again, it's really the decision that whoever is in charge of the NAACP and other positions that Rachel may hold, they're the ones that will be responsible to determine if there's any ethics violation, if there's been any gross misrepresentation on her part that warrants a change in her status.
Now, it's one thing to have a complicated family dynamic, and it's one thing to have someone want to be different than they are when they were born. That goes without saying. But when someone rises to be a prominent civil rights activist in their state and they're your daughter, that must be tough. I don't want to put an emotion on you guys, but what's going through your mind today?
It saddens us deeply,
Yeah.
and it hurts us deeply, yes.
Now, you'd said when this started, it was back in sometime in 2000. Is there any way that she went to Howard University? Did she attempt to get any scholarships based on race or ethnicity?
No.
No, in her application to Howard University, there was no designation for ethnicity, and because Rachel was coming from a Jackson, Mississippi college, because her portfolio of art was all African American portraiture, they assumed she was black and only found out she was not after they awarded her a full ride scholarship and she arrived.
And what was it? Was there any reaction or follow-up to that?
Well, the way we understood, eyes were popping and jaws were dropping when she walked in to finalize her registration in person.
But for that application, I do not believe Rachel was deceptive as she has been more recently.
You need to understand that, see, in '95, when she left to go to Belhaven College in Jackson, Mississippi, she was there when she applied to Howard after graduating from Belhaven. So they're talking to her from Howard in Jackson, Mississippi, and so she's immersed in the African American culture in the community there. She sounds African American on the phone. She did to us as well, and it wasn't a deceptive thing at that time. That's just who she was.
Well, talk to me about your family dynamic a little bit more. As far as I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you adopted 4 children. Two of those children are black. You had said, I believe I read it in one newspaper account, that you think that diversity in your family is part of what sparked her interest in speaking out for the African American community. Do you think that's part of it?
Yes, I believe that's part of it, although Rachel has always been interested in ethnicity and diversity, and we had many friends of different ethnicities when she was growing up. So it didn't start with the 4 adopted children of color. It was probably that added to her passion.
And if you see the picture that we've provided at Rachel and Kevin's wedding reception in Mississippi in 2000, you'll see that we actually have all 4 of our adopted children are black. 3 of them are African American. 1 is from Haiti.
Well, it is. I'm looking at the picture right now. It is a beautiful family, and it looks like you guys have a lot to work through, to say the very least. Well, your daughter is now under investigation for ethics violations because she's rose to prominence, and maybe, very likely, according to you guys, absolutely misrepresenting who she really is.